Have you ever wondered what it would be like if the best talents from certain clubs never ended up leaving? So, meaning like the likes of Erling Haaland never having left Borussia Dortmund, or even RB Salzburg, the likes of Mbappe never leaving AS Monaco. Well, this series that we're starting today, the What If series, is all about that. Today, we've got the Dortmund edition. So, as we all know, Borussia Dortmund are a gold mine for developing talents either of their own or bringing in some younger players, developing them and selling them on for hefty fees. So today, I brought back 7 of their best developed players. Those 7 are Manuel Akanji, Alexander Isak, Christian Pulisic, Achraf Hakimi, Jude Bellingham, Erling Haaland, and Jadon Sancho. And what we're going to be doing is simulating 5 years into the future, seeing what they could accomplish if they were still there or if they were given a 5-year contract and free to leave at the end, which we actually have it to where they will be transferred to the clubs that they are currently at the end of the 5 seasons. So Dortmund gets 5 more years of Erling Haaland and 5 more years of Jude Bellingham, something I'm certain all Dortmund fans would love to see. So without further ado, let's see how they do in the first season. So, at the end of year 1, where do they sit? They find themselves dethroning Bayern Munich. They won the league by 15 points, so by bringing back those 7 helps them dominate the Bundesliga, only losing 2 games, although they only scored 62 goals, and having the likes of Jude Bellingham back, Jadon Sancho, Pulisic, Erling Haaland, you'd think they'd score more. But not only did they win themselves the Bundesliga, they also won themselves the DFB Pokal. So, a double in the first year, pretty good. And all of this being done with Edin Terzic still at the helm, being the manager that can hopefully bring a Champions League title to Borussia Dortmund with these 7 back at the club. But now that we've gone over year 1, we're going to jump ahead 2 years. Let's see how they do within the first 3 seasons, and if Edin Terzic can keep his job as well. So, we're here at the end of season 3. How did Dortmund do? They ended up winning the league once again, this time losing 3 matches, but they scored more goals. They had 68 goals for, but won the league on fewer points. Although I am curious to see if they've won the league 3 times in a row. Unfortunately, Bayern Munich won the league in the second year, but good to see that Dortmund was able to win it in the third year. So they're 2 for 3 so far. They didn't win any other trophies here in year 3. However, what I find very interesting, the DFB Pokal, they got to the semifinal and got knocked out by FC Heidenheim, which set up a DFB Pokal final between Heidenheim and Stuttgart, which I don't think anyone would ever predict, and Stuttgart ended up taking that home. So through 3 seasons, they have 2 Bundesliga titles, a DFB Pokal title, and they were runners-up in the German Super Cup. They also were runners-up once, obviously, in the league to Bayern Munich. So doing very, very well. 3 trophies in 3 years, definitely will take that. But now we're going to jump ahead 2 more years to that 5th and final season. Let's see if Borussia Dortmund can win any continental trophies and if they can win the league or DFB Pokal once again. So here we are, year 5. Did Dortmund win the league in the 5th and final season? No, they did not. Bayern Munich has solidified themselves atop German football once again, as they not only won it in year 5, but as you can see here, they also won it in year 4 by 2 points, which was absolutely gut-wrenching, I am sure, for Dortmund fans. Did they end up winning the DFB Pokal, though, once again? Yes, they did. Year 4, they ended up winning the DFB Pokal, whereas Bayer Leverkusen, they ended up winning it in year 5 over Bayern Munich. Did they ever win themselves the German Super Cup with these 7 brought in? They did one time. They ended up winning it in year 4. So they ended up winning not only the German Super Cup, but they won the DFB Pokal as well. And how about a continental trophy? Did they ever win a Champions League trophy? Which, if they did, it would be their first since 1997. The answer to that question is yes. Yes, they did. In year 5, over a Erling Haaland-less Manchester City. So they finally won a Champions League title once again, only 30 years later. So after bringing these 7 back, how did they all perform throughout these 5 years? So we're going to start things out from the back. We're going to start with Mr. Manuel Akanji. How did he do over the 5 years? Well, his best year was in year 4, and throughout the 5 years, he actually played pretty solid. I mean, an average rating of over a 7 is absolutely fantastic, especially for a defender. Next up, we've got Mr. Achraf Hakimi, and Mr. Achraf Hakimi was fantastic throughout. He actually had his best year in his final year. If you look at the average rating wise, if you're looking at it statistically, his best year was 7 assists in the 3rd season, where he averages 7.08, and in the first year was actually his second best year, 7.21. So when he came back, he hit the ground running immediately, but the Champions League season, where they finally lifted that trophy once again, that was his overall best season. Next, we move to the wingers, and the first one we're going to is Mr. Captain America, Christian Pulisic. How did he end up doing throughout these 5 years? He did absolutely fantastic, not gonna lie. I mean, these average ratings are absolutely amazing from him. I mean, two seasons out of these 5 seasons, he had 15 goal contributions, doing absolutely fantastic. His best season was his first season back, 7.55 average rating, 7.5, 7.48. The lowest he went was a 7.37 in the final season, where he only actually had 5 goals and 3 assists, but still contributed to that Champions League. So here we are with the other winger, Jadon Sancho. How did he do on his return to Borussia Dortmund? Well, he did absolutely fantastic, just like Christian Pulisic, averaging great ratings, and his best season coming in the 5th and final season, 9 goals, 9 assists, 6 player of the match performances, 7.61 average rating. Overall, though, in all comps, he had 14 goals and 11 assists. So fantastic season from him there. And honestly, he's always balled out for the yellow and black, so I'm glad to see that upon his return, he could still do it. All right, so now we move to one of the big dogs, Mr. Jude Bellingham. How did Jude do on his return to Borussia Dortmund after a slight vacation at Real Madrid? In the 5 years, he did absolutely fantastic. Highest average rating was a 7.79 in year 4, where he had 7 goals and 16 assists with 8 player of the match performances. Overall, 9 goals, 18 assists. That's fantastic. And another season where he had plenty of player of the match performances was season 2, where he had 9 player of the match performances and 17 assists. Dude was absolutely balling out for Dortmund, just like he did when he was there. Dude was absolutely fantastic. I mean, recording 44 assists in the time back as well is amazing. Now we move to the 2 Scandinavian attackers. The first being Mr. Alexander Isak. How did he do on his return to Dortmund? He did fairly well. It took him a while to get into the starting 11, not gonna lie, because while I was checking, Terzic was using him as a substitute, but he was still scoring double-digit goals. I mean, the 3rd season, 14 goals right there in the league. The 5th and final season, 12 goals with the highest average rating at a 7.49. He had 19 goals overall in that final season, 17 the year before, 18 the year before that, and then the lower numbers due to him being used as a substitute. But Alexander Isak coming back and putting on a show along with Mr. Erling Haaland, who we're checking out right now. So, upon his return, how did the machine that is Erling Haaland do, and how did he contribute to all these trophies? Well, his first season and second season were his best 2 goal tallies. He had 20 goals both times within the league. Overall, he had 26 goals in the first season, 29 in the second season. He never broke the 30 goal mark, which is pretty interesting. Probably because Man City's absolutely broken in reality and within FM. But, I mean, it was a total team play when it came to all these guys coming back to Dortmund, which we absolutely love to see. But the highest goal amount, I believe, is the 29 goals in Season 2. He had 18 that second season, third season in the league. He had 18 with 23 overall, 19 in season 4 with 25 overall, and 15 in season 5 with 26 overall. So everyone just kind of contributing, making sure that they could bring those 6 trophies to Borussia Dortmund with those 7 coming back. It would have been cool if ended up winning 7 trophies, 1 for each player, but it is what it is. His best average rating was from season 4 with the 19 goals and 5 assists within the league, which he had 25 goals and 5 assists overall. So with these 7 coming back, how did they do? Well, they brought 2 Bundesliga titles, 2 DFB Pokal titles, a German Super Cup, and they brought the Champions League to Borussia Dortmund for the first time in what would have been 31 years. So that is absolutely fantastic in my book. It would have been awesome if they could win the league every single year, but we know how good Bayern Munich is, and when Bayern Munich gets mad that someone else won the league, they're just going to buy all your talent, and thankfully this time around, they couldn't do that. But if this is something that you guys do happen to enjoy, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? I will probably be doing some more of these in the future because this was very, very fun to do. Let me know some teams down below in the comments that you guys would like to see in the future as well. I think RB Salzburg is probably going to be a pretty popular one that you guys recommend with all the amazing talents that have come out of there. But with that being said, everybody, until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.